Well, it's Monday the 10th of July. This is episode 2323 of 301 Permanently Moved Online, a personal podcast, 301 seconds in length, written, recorded and edited by me, at the J-Mo. As of this week, I'm currently active on the following social networks: Tumblr, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, Twitter, Warpcast, Substack, Mastodon and Vero. This is a lot. As long-time listeners will know, my central thesis is that all technosocial systems should be seen through the lens of worlds. If we take this position seriously, as I do, it begs the question: what kind of worlds are we getting from the current balkanization of social media? Mostly clones. Each network implementing short-form text posts with familiar game mechanics: likes, repost, replies, quotes and followers with a counter to keep track of the high score. After 15 years of this, none of it interests me anymore. Threads, like every other social network, will end up with the same anti-culture sludge that Instagram, Facebook and Twitter already are. If you haven't logged into Threads yet, don't bother. It's full of brands tagging each other, posting insipid nonsense using that kooky brand-safe voice they incubated on Twitter. I give it 3 weeks until the whole place context collapses into a toxic hellhole full of TERFs and arguments about who is or isn't a Nazi. Social networks are, and should be, worlds. They don't all need to be built around PvP. Why aren't there any collaborative game modes? Where's the clan and chan affiliations? Why not make Teapot a real thing? Give them a badge. Where are the avant-garde player modes? Make it work like Scrabble, with letters pulled from a collective pool. And why don't social networks have a fog of war? I'm not sure what annoys me more, the lack of innovation or the lack of imagination. Social media right now feels like nothing more than a rigged carnival. Roll up, read this, pass it on, there's more. It's been this bad for years. But now there's different variations of the same flavour of network on offer, I realise how sour it all tastes. To extend the carnival analogy a little further, there are now 3 types of software mode: the Cathedral, the Bazaar and the Carnival. Eric Raymond wrote the Cathedral and the Bazaar back in 1999, but we now know that he got his metaphors backwards. The Cathedral is the free software movement, a vast multi-generational project involving work by communities of specialists. The Linux kernel is always under construction and always under renewal. Things are built and rebuilt to better suit the community's needs at various points in time. The Bazaar is the rest of the web. Like a souk, it's a vast warren that you need to explore. Lastly, there's the Carnival or social media, where everyone is a mark. If you aren't paying to use a product, then you are the product. Join the app. There's one born every minute, step right up and try for a high score. Threads is an ersatz social media app. It looks and feels like a social network, but past all the high contrast, noise, bells and whistles, all you'll find is Mark Zuckerberg. He's dressed in a waistcoat and a boater hat, showing you some ads and fleecing you for your personal data. The problem with Threads, and the stacks more generally, is the algorithmic feed. Social media is about going online, connecting and communicating with people, with a little magic of serendipity thrown in. But when the app decides what you're going to see for you, it will end up shoveling endless common denominator effluent in your direction. With no discernible way of training the algorithm, you might as well be watching TV. In fact, for many, the internet is just that: 4 to 5 channels. Facebook, Instagram, Netflix, TikTok. Choose your poison. After that, all you need do is scroll. My current favourite meme is the Simpsons bus driver tapping the sign that reads, "Your peers are creating the fulfilling art and media that you seek, not corporations." It gets to the fundamental truth of what social media and the internet is supposed to be about. We should all be creating art for each other. This is the true promise of the internet, the send and receive relationship, not create or consume. I'm part of Generation Y, an elder or geriatric millennial as we're sometimes called. I'm old enough to remember the time before the internet swallowed everything. If you were interested in something, you needed to go to a place, a shop, a venue, a website or a community to find out more. Nothing came to you. TV and the mainstream was like a big box store, but the rest of culture was the bazaar. You had to go out and explore and find things you were looking for, haggle and get advice and pointers from people with a similar taste as you. If you wanted more of something, you needed to put some effort in. The only media and art that did arrive this way was mainstream, and was, and still is, de facto bad. What are we supposed to do about the dozen or so social media apps full of empty culture? I'm just over it. How about we all just try to get out of the carnival and onto our own stage? Get a website, start a newsletter, share the things you make and the things made by others. You make it, I'll like it, I'll share it. send, and receive.